someone look at you and say, you're a genius because you are able to visualize how one project can lead to another project.
I remember telling my mom I'm leaving my high-paying job at Microsoft to go sell boerewors rolls. She was like, "Oh, Danani, what about your medical aid?" My first staff member, Peter, turns around to me, says, "Miles, we're on fire." I go, "I know, look at the crowd." Right? He says, No, we're on fire.
Welcome to What's the Difference, a Woolworths podcast. I'm Steve Steinfeld.
And I'm Smongile Mafu.
Sibs, always great to see you.
Always great to see you. I can't wait for what is going to be another juicy episode.
I think we have a fantastic guest in today.
And we are at this kitchen table where we have not cooked a single thing, but it's beautiful and I love it.
Sibs, you're completely throwing us under the bus here.
No, it's fine.
Don't tell them our kitchen's fake.
No, one day.
Yeah?
They'll let us cook in this kitchen.
I mean, to be fair, my kitchen at home also doesn't see much usage.
Because you are always out of the country, Steve. I cooked 2 schnitzels in the air fryer last night, which was exceptional.
I mean, we all love a woolly schnitzel, let's be real.
It was crispy and done to perfection. So I went on a culinary journey that I'm very proud of.
Wonderful. Next time I'm coming over.
But of course, this podcast is not about us.
No.
It's about the incredible people who live very unique lives with food at the heart of it.
Of course. And today's guest is no exception. He has lived as many professional lives as Woolies has ready-made meals.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know that Al. He is an entrepreneur, he's a creator, he is a chef, he is probably the ultimate multi-hyphenate. Mm-hmm. He is a leading voice in South Africa's food innovation and economic development space.
He's launched restaurant chains, built food accelerators, uplifted township food businesses, partnered with the UN, helped countless emerging suppliers turn their ideas into real sustainable ventures. His work lives at the intersection of food, opportunity, and meaningful change. He's actually 100 years old.
It sounds it.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, to achieve that.
That's it. Yeah. He's lived many lives, many lives. A warm What's the Difference welcome to Miles Kubheka.
Welcome, Miles.
Thank you. I was sitting here saying, "Oh, please stop." Like people reading your obituary in your
They do less. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
I'm still alive.
And I loved talking about you and introing you because you have the most beautiful smile.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if that was like strategic on your part. Like, bring your smile to the table. We're going to keep complimenting you.
Stop it, I like it.
And we'll be fine.
Yeah, for those listening, you would have seen like Sibs and I kept like smiling as we were giving the descriptions.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're able to watch the podcast as well, please do so you can see his smile.
Sibs, before we go into the deep conversations, what do we do?
Of course, we
Every
like
episode.
to snap. We like to snap and yap. We like to snap and yap.
What are we snacking on today?
Because our sugar daddy Woolies is holding us down, we have been able to bring some wonderful goodies here for you.
Thank you.
As someone who is very busy, I'm sure you do a lot of snacking. Is it quite tough to create a meal for yourself?
That's actually very, very true, because also if I'm in the kitchen all day and I'm an eatist like you, I eat for a living, so I'm always nibbling other people's cuisine. Mm-hmm. So the whole day can go past and you realize, damn it, I haven't eaten, right? And it's like 10 p.m. and I don't feel like going down the schnitzel and air fryer route. So
it's okay.
Popcorn.
Yeah. We weren't all built for that life. But we have here the popcorn from Woolies. It's the feta and black pepper flavored air popped corn. It's in the grey bag and it's so good. I feel like popcorn is just a universal fave.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're fancy, we got some. We got some Wagyu beef boerewors. You all know it from its iconic dark blue packaging.
Yes, royal blue, darling.
Yeah. And the price tag. I mean, it can't be missed.
It's a treat. It's a
Yeah,
treat.
this reminds me of my Voyo's days, when we're doing wors, so I'm a connoisseur, I can tell you. You've arrived when you're having Wagyu boerewors,
for sure.
So,
you've graduated.
Yeah.
And we've got like crispy nibbles, which I actually haven't tried yet, which I'm looking forward to trying. It's the mature cheddar cheese with roasted and salted almonds. These would be really nice to put in your lunchbox.
Little yellow packet with some.
Yeah. Do you bring a lunchbox to work?
just for the car.
just in the cubbyhole.
Yeah, just, you know.
Yeah, we've got, look at that sexy jar.
It is. It's got a fruit and chili flavored gums in it. And we can...
Orange lid, for those listening. So.
Yes. And you can
try some?
recycle the jar.
How's your spice levels?
I can do spice.
Yeah.
Nope.
And
Cool.
can you do sour?
Well, this is actually good. Can I talk with you?
Oh, let's try it. There you go.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So there's like green ones, green and orange ones, darker brown looking ones. I think that's brown. It's got a kick to it.
As long as there's no black ones, because that will be cannibalism.
No, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Steve can.
I separate them.
Goody.
They like sibs. They like sweet at first, and then the spice just comes through.
It hits you.
And
I'm relaxed now, so we can get into it.
Well, I think while we're on the topic of snacking, I'm going to steal your word, as a fellow eatist, I think we all have that childhood memory that was our first like aha moment of, you know, loving food or being interested in food. What was that moment for you?
So I've been raised by a single parent, my mom, who's amazing. She's been everything. So so you don't know what you don't know, because she's everything in the house. She was always omnipresent. So my favorite moments was on Sundays, because she was trying to do everything all at once, right? So she would cook breakfast, simultaneously making lunch, starting prepping for lunch, so that when she goes to church and comes back, lunch is sort of ready. So I had a cacophony of smells. So like the roast chicken is going off, but I'm sort of smelling eggs and a bit of bacon in there. So it was always just like, the things you wouldn't necessarily, because they stand alone quite nicely. A nice breakfast in the morning smells quite very nice. And then obviously the aroma of a roast chicken during the day is, but put those together. No, I was privileged with aroma. So to me, that's always stuck with me. And I think that's why food has become and has remained a central part of my life. I think people's memories are often, if you like double click, it's around the table, it's around breaking bread, So I think I was very, very lucky with that.
And to also just make me hyper aware of like senses and how they contribute to how you remember food, because it's not just the taste, it's the smell, it's the sound.
What it looks like.
It's breakfast being the alarm that gets you out of bed.
But it's also, I think, it's love, right? That's why, like, even if your mom is a terrible cook, and
thank you for holding space for moms who are bad cooks.
There are. You know what I mean? There are people. Mine wasn't. She's an amazing cook. So, but even if your mom is a terrible cook, or whoever in your house is terrible, if it's made with love, it almost always tastes that marginally better. That's why people have those memories, because that's the secret ingredient, love. And I don't joke. Even now, as a chef, I don't cook in kitchens anymore. I just cook for people I love, because restaurants and that can kill the love for cooking, you know what I mean? Because it's just a chore. But when you cook for people you love, I mean, it's just like
it's
your
like
soul.
special,
And you hear it. It sounds like, so cliche, but it's genuinely true.
No, I completely agree with you. I mean, I also, as I say, when I do cook at home, so I'm just going to tell you it's never. But I would much rather cook for people than just for myself. I think, cooking for one gets boring.
Yeah, definitely.
And reinvention seems to be a big theme in your life as well. Is that just like a matter of survival, or you just get bored of what you're doing and you're like, I need to go to the next thing?
That's a super interesting. I love how you say it's a multi-hyphenate. The first time I heard that, I'm going to keep it.
It feels like you see me. I'm stealing eaters. I'm updating my Instagram now.
So I think it just feels like it would be a shame to study something and die in that field. Like the world's, is filled with so many different things. And I've come to realize if you want to fix very big systemic issues, you have to be almost like a polymath. Even if you don't want to, I don't think I want to do as many things as you say, is that my life's purpose is to end hunger. And the problem is with that is that once you start going down that path, you realize, hunger is not a food problem, it's a distribution problem. But now I've gone down this path, now I have to figure out, so I need to do this in order to essentially meet my my own personal goal, right? So you end up going into multiple different industries because no one is solving for the thing you need, So essentially, I'm driving the train, I'm realizing, damn it, I need tracks. So, and I gotta go build tracks.
build them.
Now you're building tracks, you realize, oh, you're gonna need a platform to unload stuff onto the train. Now I'm building a platform. So that's how it happens, you know? So it's not necessarily that I'm intentionally going to do multiple things.
Yeah.
Plus I have a board. They're like, dude, why are we in energy now? I'm like,
Dream big.
I'm like, well, food comes out of the ground because it needs, you know, water. Food grows out of the ground, but it needs water. Water needs energy to get out of the.
So we need energy.
Yes, that's why you end up doing multiple things.
And I mean, one of the very multiple things you do is your accelerator called Wakanda.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
I love how you
on
reference
earth-
pop culture a lot,
Yeah,
by the way.
yeah.
From, you know, we were a big dreamer to Wakanda.
Yes.
Clearly a bit of a pop
like
culture
the
nerd.
little like anecdotes, the train tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because storytelling is an important part of how to sort of make everything clear, even for yourself, right? So that, because if you want to do very difficult things, the vision must be super clear, right? So the best way to do that is storytelling. You know, there's an old African proverb that says, if you want to go far, go with others. If you want to go fast, go alone. My version of that is like, if you want to go far and fast, go with the right company, right? Find the right people who share your pace and can motivate you. So it doesn't have to be either or, fast or slow. You know, you can pick the pace, but the trick with that is find the right company. So that's why I build companies.
I mean,
Yeah.
Wakanda, yes.
Wakanda.
Yeah.
What was Marvel calling you?
How many times did you have a conversation with Marvel's legal team before they allowed you to
that
have
was
the
super
name?
interesting.
I mean, they must have come knocking.
In fact, the one that was even more interesting was with Boerewors when I started, because
Yeah, from the
I saw a
the
brand,
ad.
an ad, and I Googled to discover it wasn't. They hadn't trademarked it,
Yeah.
and I trademarked it, and I started building a business. And I come from IT, so what was I doing in food? So I knew nothing about food. Yeah, sure, I've subsequently studied as a chef, but at the time I knew nothing about food, right? So that was super interesting because they definitely were like, dude, what are you doing? You know?
How dare you?
Yeah, but then it turned out that they were so cool about it. And the lesson I learned there was that in life it is often better to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission.
A bit of audacity.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, because I asked them, they would have probably said no. But now that I'd done it, it was like,
Yeah,
you know.
Also, how can you say no to a food accelerator? That's, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, speaking of that, and I hate the word because it like gives pandemic vibes, but that ultimate pivot of yours,
Yes.
Talking about yours,
Yes.
I mean, you took this fictional TV character.
Yeah.
Like, most of us are sitting there being like, when is this advert finishing? I want to get back to the show.
No, hold on. No, you may have. We love that ad.
Yeah,
We love that ad in my household. It was what we were kind of like. We kept repeating it. You know?
And I think that's the thing, right? Because good storytelling
Sticks
is
with you.
inspiring, right? So I was inspired. In fact, probably the only person who's been inspired by two forms of creative and built businesses around. So Voyeurs was first, and obviously Wakanda from the movie Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the advert. I wondered if it was based on a true story, if Voyeur actually existed. Google, discovered you didn't, trademarked it. Didn't think too hard about it. And it changed my life. It was like an amazing, amazing journey. Like, you know, if you're listening or watching, don't overthink this stuff. You know, I remember telling my mom I'm leaving my high-paying job at Microsoft to go sell boerewors rolls. She was like, "Oh,
must have been
Danani,
done so
what
well."
about your medical aid and pension?" I was like, and that's the pushback you will get when you do things that are seemingly dumb but turn out to be epic. Because rationally, everyone who loves you thinks, dude, come on, I didn't spend all these years of paying for your school fees to master's level. Now you're going to sell
make
boerewors
boeries.
rolls, you know? And yeah, I'm super grateful that I didn't listen and I just did it.
I mean, you've done a really amazing job of it, but there must have been some crazy, funny, surreal moments along the way. Are there any? There's clearly one that sticks out.
There's many. There's actually
Maybe
many.
some sleepless nights or.
Oh, ton. Wow. I mean, the one I can just, that I talk about a lot because it was like in the first day of entrepreneurship as such, was a proper baptism of fire. I had my first executive decision, and it was subliminally something I learned from Microsoft. Always put your customer front and center.
Yeah.
So be close to the customer because that's where the magic happens. You can look at them and they can chirp you and you can. So I bought this grill and we rock up at Foy's Farmers Market and my first executive decision is that I'm going to remove the stand. I'm going to put the grill on the table so I can see my customers, right? Like a DJ, you know, like I want to...
Now you're in our faces now.
You know, so I
while
can
I'm having my plate.
I can get the energy, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to if I had it in the back, I'd have my back to the customer and I'd be like conducting an orchestra. And orchestras are boring. So we realized that the table is made out of wood. So now how am I going to put this grill that cooks with gas on a wooden table? So we find one of these concrete slabs, you know, those pavers, you know, if we put it between the grill and the table, because that's what you do as an entrepreneur. You roll, you just keep it moving, right? And then so we put it and it works, right? And we're pumping. Week number 5, my first staff member, Peter, turns around to me, says, Miles, we're on fire. I go, I know, look at the crowd, right? Because we had a massive crowd. I'm like, yeah, look at the crowd, we're on fire. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm the DJ,
There's
we're
black
pumping.
coffee over here.
Yeah, right? He says, no, we're on fire. Turns out you forgot to put the concrete slab between the grill and the table. The table caught alight, making this massive flame that was melting the shade netting above us, which was made out of plastic, and the flames were just bellowing.
Bonfire.
Dude, I looked down on the floor, realized the floor is made out of wood chips. It was lit, as the young people would say. Yeah.
Like everything that could go wrong went wrong.
All in one time, right? But I'd learned at culinary school that, you know, as a chef, you know, you roll with the punches. If you want to make an omelet, you've got to be comfortable cracking with some eggs, right? So we just rolled with the punches. That's what we did.
Very courageous, I must say. It's paid off in many respects. Yeah. You know, you talk about storytelling being a very big part of the work that you do, how you go about projects, with a deep kind of respect for South African culture, South African heritage. How have you used your love for, you know, where you grew up, for this country, to kind of innovate and push yourself? Because I'm sure sometimes merging those two worlds can be very challenging.
Yeah, and sometimes it's happenstance, you know, 90% of success is just showing up. And the classic example of this was during COVID. I just sold Woolworths and I was like sort of semi-retired and I didn't know what to do. And then COVID happens, I'm like, I still don't know what to do. And everywhere I go, it's like, hey, Vuyo, but I'm not Vuyo anymore. It's like,
what a rebrand.
Yeah, so I'm half pregnant, I don't know what to do. And then COVID happens. By then, I'd built this accelerator, which was amazing, and we had just accepted our first cohort. And then the president comes on TV, says, "No, it's level 5. Everybody must stay at home." You know, I was like, But I've never been one to ask for permission. You know, I'd rather ask for forgiveness. Yeah. So we took those essential services certificates, photoshopped them. I was making it rain, bro. I was giving it to all our entrepreneurs, and we went to the communities and townships we come from, and I realized like people didn't have food.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, what do you mean people don't have food, you know? Because South Africans, we will strike about things we are unhappy with. I've never seen a strike for access to food. And it turned out people don't strike about access to food because it's embarrassing. No one wants their neighbors to know that it's proper.
It's a shame.
It's a shame. But the fact of the matter is 19 million South Africans go hungry every night in South Africa. But we're a food secure country. I'm like, how make this make sense? And then I happened to see an organization. In fact, they saw me while we were helping in the communities, giving food with our entrepreneurs. When we arrived, it was 350 meals, 400, 500. There's just more and more people. And this organization, SA Harvest, said, look, dude, we keep seeing you around. Like, why don't you hop on our board and join us? Because we clearly row in the same direction. They rescue food from big retailers, like Woolworths and so forth, and repurpose it to community-based organization. So that's how I then joined the board of SA Harvest. But whilst I was doing that, I realized because there's like 19 million South Africans going hungry every night, there must be a more systemic way of fixing the problem. Because as a systems engineer, if I just keep putting Band-Aids, it's not what I'm about. I want to, where are the people needing the Band-Aids coming from, right? So when I realized, talking to the community, is that you used to be able to go to your neighbor and borrow a cup of sugar. But you can't now because even next door, they don't have the cup of sugar. It's like, it's that rough, you know? And I was in my bubble up till then, and bubbles work because it's your bubble, right?
You take care of your house,
Yeah.
you know, your needs.
Exactly. Even with your relatives, that's I think why they call them relatives, because they'll always be relative to you. So your poorest member of your family is relative to you. But when you go out of your bubble and you see the levels, as they say, of poverty, and it's like, oof, you know? So that's how Gwalisa came about. I was like, okay, how do we build a model that allows people to buy food based on the amount of money they have, as opposed to pack sizes? So if you want flour for 136 cents, when you come to Gwalisa, we can decant you for 136, or you can buy maize meal, or we can sell you a tea bag for 50 cents. So everything is based on the quantum of money you have as opposed to what the pack size starts at.
And it's such a sustainable stance as well. I mean, yes, with the challenges of poverty, but there's also a very huge issue around waste.
Yes.
You know, so it all kind of is interlinked where you get what you need,
100%.
which should be enough.
And that was an unintended consequence. We didn't set out to remove single-use plastic, but that's become the biggest part of what we do. Because if you're poor, that means you're buying a lot of small pack sizes. That means your propensity to litter is exponentially higher. And then, but you're probably living in an informal settlement where no one is picking up your litter, right? So now we remove the single-use plastic, and we provide nutrition to the community.
That's incredible. I mean, I think that there is so much that can be done to, you know, give people agency. And I think that's
dignity.
And dignity, of course. And that's, I think that's an incredible way that you've done it. And you've done it for so many other entrepreneurs like yourself who you've helped. What is your one biggest lesson that you give them? What's the one thing you say, this is the one thing you need to know?
Well, there's technically two. I'll go to that one. Please ask me again if I should go on a tangent. But the one thing that I wish I could matrix for in terms of what I've seen as a lived experience, firstly, is to listen with your eyes, because there's so many opportunities hidden in plain sight, right? But people don't. And so one of the things that I would love to sort of figure out how to matrix for, when we put at Gwalisa, because we put them in community-based organizations, so mamas who've been feeding kids and doing like community work, and we put the Gwalisa so that they can have an alternative revenue income as opposed to just the charity work they do. But we find these gogos, when we find them, they literally bend over. Like, you know, age pulls you to, gravity pulls you back close to earth. After a year in them operating at Gwalisa, they start standing up straight and tall. And that's what dignity does. And I can't tell you, I wish I could like matrix for that we make people stand up straight. Because that's what pride does, makes people stand up straight. So for me, that is the most amazing part of what I do. But to answer your question directly to entrepreneurs, younger guys, because that's the mamas I've covered. But the younger guys, I always say, find problems that are already at scale, right? Because it's very tempting to find problems that are your lived experience. And I get that because you understand it and it's your lived experience.
Yeah, it's the problem you want to solve.
So it's a first-hand experience, right? So I always say, but if you find problems that are at scale, you spend less time trying to convince everybody else to use your solution, because your solution will automatically scale if the problem is at scale.
And, you know, being involved with so many projects that, you know, you love and requiring the power of collaboration, you know, also can, you know, have its own speed bumps. You know, how have you been able to use, you know, the skills that you've acquired as you've, you know, gotten older to be able to connect with so many different types of people in order to get your projects going and off the ground?
It's like learning lessons, I guess.
It's like, oh my gosh, it's like I've got to make new friends. 35, you know, it's not easy.
Super hard. No, that is actually a great insight. It's the humility it requires. Like I said, you know, listen with your eyes. And for example, I reason by stories, as you can see. For me, it's most people reason by logic, A, B, C. I reason by analogy, right? So comparison stories. So I remember was one time we were trying to put a Gwalisa in this particular space, but it had this mama who was running. She was a traditional healer. Yeah. Right. So I had to go speak to her to see if she could, like, you know, scoot over. So So I go in and I say, Ma, I was hoping you could scoot over so we can put our kwalisa. And she says, yeah, but my adjacent neighbor is attached to my thing. Have you spoken to him? I say, yeah, no, I've spoken to him. He's cool. And she says to me, so did you pay him? I'm like, oh, ma, but I can't discuss that. That was between me and him, right? And bear in mind, I'm in this Jumba thing, like it's 40 degrees.
Okay.
I could feel the sweat going down my leg. Right? And it's got all these skulls and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, when did I go left instead of right in my life? No, I had one of those.
How did I end up here?
It's like,
Maybe entrepreneurship is not for me.
yeah, it's like, you know those memes. This is me.
Yeah.
Let me explain how I got you, kind of thing. And then I'm like, no, ma, but like that was between me and him. And she goes, I was like, yo, you know, like she starts like calling in the vibes.
What's the next step, right?
Yes, like to ask the spirits, what truth am I telling or not telling?
Like, did you pay the neighbor?
Ooh, bruh. That was real. So yeah, I think a big part of solving these big problems is that you can't solve them from a boardroom. You have to be where the community is.
And I mean, I think, again, we're going back to the CV.
Yes.
One of the most recent projects you've worked on has been the UN Development Program.
Yeah.
I mean, that's super exciting. And do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, I'm super stoked about that, actually. And again, 90% of success is just showing up. So in Gwalisas, because we're a refillery, I'm super and maybe even hyper sensitive to health and safety, making sure that when you decant food, it's safe, you can track and trace, you know, and we've worked with multinationals to make sure that our SOPs are, you know, and also because we run an accelerator, so it's first nature for us to care about that. Sure. So then I happened to build a tool between 3 and 4 a.m. because that CV doesn't fill itself. So, you know, you gotta do stuff, right? So 3 and 4 a.m. I wrote some code as a recovering tech bro to allow us.
Get well soon.
You
It's not happening. I relapsed, right? So I built some AI tool to allow us to be able to take our phones and scan our gwalisas, our shops, and the AI reads the shop to make sure that it meets the R638 regulation. So it will tell you, like, this product shouldn't be stocked so close to this one, so you can't put detergent next to food. Like, it does all of that. So the AI does that. So, super cool. It works for us. So our guys do it in the morning, in the evening, and didn't think anything about it. And then we had the UN visit us one day and happened to show them what we are doing. They're like, dude, you know that there's like 23 kids who've died over the last year and a half because of just the safety in spaza shops. Is this thing scalable? Can you replicate it? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure we could. Yeah. And they said, well, funny you should say that because there's an RFP that they've been working on and so maybe I could look to bid.
But sorry to interrupt. We're talking about Dime now?
Yeah, that's Dime. Yeah, okay, so cool. they started working on Dime. So digitizing.
Okay, what does Dime stand for?
It's digitizing digital innovation for modernizing independent economies.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it does. Hence Dime.
Dime, yeah.
Okay, so they were working on Dime at the time. And so they said, look, you know, if you're keen, put in a bid and if you are comfortable that this thing can be scaled out, and that's what we did. Now we've now got about 4,000 spazas on the platform, and the target is 20,000 by June. Okay. So we're working hard on it.
And what does it look like? How does it work?
Okay, so you just
Sorry, I'm a project junkie, so I'm like, for sure. Tell me more.
So it's literally, you just go to www.spazamisa, S-P-H, Spaza, Z-A-M-I-S-A, spazamisa.co.za, and it's a tool that just, once you sign in, you click on a button, it switches on your camera on your phone, and you can take it, even if you've got a restaurant or a catering business, whatever, and you just take the camera around and it will tell you what you need to fix in your shop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from a health and safety side. So, for example, if you're in a restaurant, it will pick up your fridge temperatures. It will tell you, you know, this is below this temperature needs to be updated, or that you're storing cooked food under uncooked food, like no, or there's no labeling. It will do all of that for you.
someone would look at you and say, you're a genius because you are able to visualize
That's a
how
stretch.
one project can lead to another project, and you've built an ecosystem of incredible collaborations that work together. How have you found, all of them connected? Is it a case of, passion kind of leads to the next thing, or has it all been kind of calculated and it's worked out?
No, like I say, 90% of success is just showing up. Like a lot of people have got great dreams, but they go to bed with them. Like, you gotta wake up and actually do them. So for me, it's like, I don't overthink it. I do the most minimum viable thing I can do within my means. In fact, my mom puts it best. She says, if you're stuck on the side of the road, no one stops to help you. If you're stuck on the side of the road, you get out of your own car, you start pushing. You'll be surprised to see how many people will stop and help.
I mean, one of my favorite quotes is from Game of Thrones, chaos is a ladder. And
Thank you, and we have not discussed this.
That quote sits with me because, we obviously live in an incredible country that has access to so much, but, a lot of people go without. And when so many things are broken, you can feel super helpless. But I think as a citizen, like you, as people who live here, we still have a part to play in, making it better for others. So what do you think the future of South Africa looks like when we finally get the pieces in place?
If you can just get people out of waiting for the savior or waiting for government, waiting for somebody, and get them to be agents of their own change, watch.
But I mean,
and it happens.
You're so right. And I've had this conversation with a lot of international friends because, load shedding, touch wood, we haven't had it in a while. They were like, if this had to happen in France, we would be in the streets or rioting. And I think on one hand, there is a resilience to South Africans. That is why we don't do that. But on the other hand, I think, as you say, there are other factors that, why we sometimes feel like that's what we have to do.
But you can either whinge about it or do something about it. So that exact example was a massive problem for Gwalisas. We're in a township, it's dark, so my customers are unsafe. It's pitch dark. And, so we're like, our Gwalisas run on solar, so we lit. But you can't be in a car, look like you are eating a juicy burger when everyone else's lips are ashy, because we were running on solar and we're the only ones lit. We said, why don't we just increase the amount of panels we have on our Gwalisa and reticulate electricity to our neighbors? And that's exactly what we did. We're now a microgrid. We sell electricity at 135 cents per load shedding hour or load reduction hour, because load reduction is still happening in townships. So townships are now, is energy subsidizing the northern suburbs. So it's still dark in the township. But now they buy electricity from us.
Exactly.
So we complain, but we also make a plan.
Mark a plan.
Yeah, you're a fixer. You're like Olivia Pope. We've spoken a lot about suppliers, innovation, and what it takes to build products that matter. So we wanted someone from Woolly's side who works with this every day.
And maybe you can put those plugs in, Joining us now is the head of trade, prepared bakery, and frozen at Woolworths, Yusuf Limbada.
Look at this. Whoa.
No one walks away from this kitchen empty-handed.
A ton. For those listening, Miles has just been handed the most ginormous Woolies recyclable, reusable shopping bag. And just from what I can see inside, there's already some
coffee.
Some MCC there, some coffee.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, bud.
Pleasure. Thank you. Please, man.
But just because you bring
ready
gifts,
for the weekend.
But just because you bring gifts doesn't mean that you're gonna walk away from us without answering some tough questions.
Yusuf, you're here for the cold seat. As we all know, Woolworths is very proud of its cold chain. But we've got some chilling questions to ask you.
I told me it's going to be easy questions. Let's see what we have.
That's just how we got you.
That's how we got you.
So, maybe let's start with the chillest of all questions, like your frozen section. You've got some really cool products in there. But I often find people have a perception that it's just functional foods, it's just quick, How do we make it more interesting and debunk that stereotype?
Yeah, so I think before what's given frozen a bad stigma was the fact that it would be cheap, right? And people always felt that it was foods that were towards the end of their life, and then someone froze them just to keep them going. However, I think that perception is changing because people are understanding what it is about. And basically, frozen foods is chilling it and freezing it when it's still very fresh. Okay. What that allows us to do, though, is that we don't have a shelf life ticking. So we can then go out around the world and source the best foods for you, made authentically in those areas. So if I give you an example, some of our items we got from Vietnam, those vegetables are picked in the morning by the farmers, delivered to the facility later that morning. By the end of that day, that's processed, it's made into the final product, it's frozen, and then it comes to you. So you'll get it as if though it's been made that day. And essentially, if you think about cold chain, frozen is the ultimate cold chain. Because it freezes in the goodness, the shelf life's not ticking, and you have it as if it was made for you.
But seriously, why is your stuff so expensive?
Yo, just coming out there.
Chef.
And as a journalist, let me step in and ask, why are Woolies items priced the way that they are?
Oh, thank you so much.
Is that a diplomatic version of my question? Okay, that's here.
So I must tell you, that's the reason when you're at a braai, you don't tell anybody you work for Woolworths.
Right.
Because the two things that comes out is customer complaints and value perception. Right? But I'll give you the best way, in my mind, I explain it to people. But I view it as 3 levels, okay? The first level is you have 2 items. Side by side, you taste one, you taste the other one, and you go, this one tastes better. So I'm willing to pay more for it, okay? And I think that's the easy one.
Quality.
Yeah, 100%. Look, what is difficult also is, to your point, people view taste only as quality. But quality is more holistic than just taste, right? And flavor, which is the second level. You might find that 2 things taste the same, right? But one is made, and if you think about it, one is packed sugar, MSG, artificial colorants. You know, you don't know
It's
when.
made to taste good.
100%. Essentially, there's 2 carriers of flavor, sugars and fats. Okay. If you want to make something more flavorful, you add more sugar, you add more fat. But that's not necessarily healthy for you. So the next level is you have healthy ingredients to get the same flavor, same taste. And if I give you an example, if you take yogurt's acidic by its nature. So someone will add a lot of sugar to hide the acidity and carry the flavor. For us, in order to get to a better ingredient statement, to have less sugar, we went to the science to understand how do we make yogurt milder in order to carry flavor. Right? So now, the second level, you can at least look at the ingredient statement. You can say, no artificial colorants. I can see this item has less sugar. I can see this has free-range eggs. I can see this has free-range chicken, or has chocolate, head of choc. The third level, though, is the one that I keep telling people they don't really think about. And that is what it takes for us to get the product there. So you could have a facility or factory paying minimum wage, sometimes child labor, sometimes less, versus a factory paying a living wage. And a living wage is a lot, in South African country, a lot more expensive than someone paying minimum wage. We go to the extent of making sure there's enough toilets for people. They're not working too much of overtime. They're getting paid for the overtime they work. You know, there's a balance, they're earning a living wage.
So you're basically saying it's not just the quality of the actual product that the customer consumes, it's the quality of the supply chain
100%.
that leads to that product.
Everything about it.
Everything
about looking after the people, everything about looking after the planet, the raw material, the regenerative farming. You know, so you might see free-range chicken, but how everybody around that free-range chicken is working, you know, the environment in which they're working, how they're working, and the fact that we actually audit it to make sure that what we say is what we do, right? And that's one that people don't realize. And that's the biggest cost of things if you think about it, like the cost of amazing facilities, really good technical standards, looking after the raw materials we have, looking after the environment, the planet. And I think that's one that people don't really think about. But what I always say is, when you go, and if you're spending a bit more and you feel it's a bit more expensive, just remember you're uplifting communities and individual people as well. Right?
It's great for people to know that, because I mean, we go on and on about sustainability and, you know, talk about the farms and the produce and the chickens.
Care of people.
But like at the end of the day, sustainability is a people problem. And like, if you're sustaining the people, I think that's incredible. So, yeah.
And do you think there's a weight to it now that, you know, you're known for it and you care, and it's almost like a self-fulfilling thing that you now need to keep up because you can't drop the ball, right?
Yes.
Because if you do, that glare will be 10x harsher on you because you set that bar so high.
100%. And I think, you know, it's the one thing that you will stay awake at night, because ultimately it's about people, am I right? So you might have someone taking a chance, cutting a corner, And remember, when you've got a chain of thousands of people working within that chain, one person might take a shortcut. And now we're sitting here, we're in a podcast, there's social media, there's a phone camera, wherever you have. Someone takes that picture, someone takes that video. It's a reflection on us, right? So we try to make sure that everybody that we're working with has the same value set like us, the same ethics like us. And you hope that with that training, which is also a cost, the training of the employees, the training of our supply base, the training of our own employees, we carry that all the time. One thing we'd love to say is we do what we say we'll do. But there is a way to it, because anybody can slip at any point in a supply chain. But you try your best to make sure you limit that.
I mean, on that note, I feel as though...
I don't know if we can go anywhere from there.
The difference is loud. Absolutely. And Miles, it's also been great that you've joined us as the third co-host, because I love the fact that you use that opportunity to be able to ask the tough questions.
Ask for forgiveness.
That really...
That's what the whole seat is for, right?
Your customers are asking all the time, and it's a new appreciation of what goes on behind the scenes and what it takes to have the meal that you brought from Woolies on your plate.
Exactly.
Look, and as difficult as it was, I think the main thing is the fact that you can ask it off the cuff. And doesn't have to be prepared, because that's how we live it. We live it every day, And I always say, when people ask me what's your definition of wealth, I say my definition of wealth is putting my head on the pillow at night and sleeping easy, knowing that I haven't missed anyone around. I've been good to the environment, I've been good to people, and things have got better for them. And that's what we do. Working for Woolies, that's how you put your head on the pillow, knowing that you've improved people's lives.
Miles, Yusuf, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an incredible episode of What's the Difference, a Woolworths podcast.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, subscribe, and share. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Until next time. Bye-bye.
See you next time.